Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Bree.
And I am Alex.
And welcome back to the Damn Strong podcast. How'd y'all like our new little intro? We're trying something else out. A little shorter, a little more condensed, just getting right to it.
Today we're talking about, what are we talking about today?
How to maintain results on vacation, parentheses, and why you shouldn't worry about that. So we're actually going to give everyone like tangible ways to pursue maintaining on vacation. But I think we also want to give you the realistic tea on why you shouldn't be so worried about that. But we also understand, like, if that's something you're pursuing, that's totally fine. We don't want to knock anyone for that. But also just like, there's some things we want you to think about in the pursuit of trying to maintain while on vacation.
Before we get into that, tell me about your week.
Oh,
you said you were going to talk about it on the podcast. So, and I've been like itching to hear about it.
Oh, I mean, it hasn't been anything too crazy. I feel like it's been good. It's currently a Saturday that we were filming this podcast. So we're, working hard. But yeah, this past week was great. How was your week?
Did you do anything with the house? Do you want to talk about the house hunt at all?
So I haven't officially announced on my Instagram at all, but for the podcast people, we can talk about it. We put an offer on a house. It was accepted, which is really exciting. And it's really exciting that it was a house, because what was happening is every time we'd bid a bid or whatever, put in, it felt like bidding. It felt like an auction, honestly. On a house, we would lose out to people with all cash, all those scenarios where you're just much more competitive than a first-time home buyer. And a lot of people don't want to go through with someone who is on an FHA loan because there's just a lot of hurdles you have to jump. It takes a little bit longer. People just want their money now. And so we went and looked at townhomes. We thought would be a great option because you don't have to fight for those as much. And it looked like it was going to be a great option. And we ended up looking at 2 houses that day, this past week on Wednesday. And one of the houses we loved and there were no current offers on it. We're like, let's throw in an offer and let's try to be competitive. And I, wrote a letter and everything. And I actually used ChatGPT to write the letter. And it turned out fantastic.
Awesome.
Turned out so good. And we were just like, hey, let us know by tomorrow. And they let us know. And they're like, okay, cool. Like, we'll accept your offer. So we're in the option period. So we don't officially like get out of the option period till next Friday. So I'm just like a little weary. That's why I haven't really been talking about it. Cause it's like, something could fall through. Like we have inspections next Tuesday and who knows what could fall through.
Wow. I'm really, really, really excited for you. Going from an apartment to a house for Maddie and I was just like, it was so fun. Just like painting a wall. And I know you could do that in an apartment. We did do that in past apartments, but just like, I don't know, there's a sense of, I guess you've been in your apartment for so long that like there is a high degree of permanency.
Yeah.
But for us, we were moving literally every 12 months, like on the dot.
Yeah.
And so there was never that degree of, and I'm not going to lie, like we're already looking to move out of this place in like 8 months. We love it here, but just, anyway. You didn't ask, but my past week, I'm going to tell you
about it. Yes, I did. That's what yours was.
So it was a pretty crazy week for me. Definitely the busiest week I've ever had, like professionally. I've been working like, I mean, you know this, you've seen me. It's been like 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day this past week. But it's like, I remember 3 years ago when I started doing this, it was like, this is what I wanted, and this is what I was like begging for, is that like, I would just have enough stuff to occupy my time. And I would try to look for stuff to do and just like learn and stuff like that. And now it's like, I have so much to do that I borderline can't keep up with it. But it's like, it's such a good problem to have,
Yeah.
And it's exciting, but it is definitely mentally draining to a degree. But just so many exciting projects in the works. I negotiated a contract with Danielle. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but it's a year long and it's a really good contract for me. So I bought PlayStation Virtual Reality 2 to celebrate.
I love it.
I bought one other thing. I'll send you a Polaroid of it. I haven't sent it to you, but I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast, but I'll send it to you privately. You have to promise you'll never share it though.
No, but now I'm like I'm sure everyone on the podcast is really curious what it is.
Yeah, I'll send you. I took a Polaroid of it.
So that way there's no digital trace back and someone can't like hack into your cloud.
No, it's not like that bad. It's not like that bad. It's just like something that like, it's just personal. It's not like, it's a very small memento to myself, very, very small, under $50 memento to myself that I'm just going to keep. And it's like really fun to me.
That's cool.
I like my parents saw it. So that's how like weird it
Yeah.
is, you know?
Yeah.
And they
Unless you
thought
have
it
a
was
weird
so
relationship with
fun.
your parents. So
Exactly. Yeah. And they were just happy for me. And then yeah, the projects that, you know, you and I have got going on. Yeah,
yeah.
so really exciting stuff. I mean, the designs are coming together for us. The development is coming together for us. We've had like a couple really long meetings with the app, you know, the
Yeah.
self-coaching, I guess we're calling it app.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Lots of
blown
exciting
away
things.
level of excited for that. Like I
Yeah.
think that is going to be such a big step for us in it lowers the barrier for people to work with us and to get access to our knowledge and information. And
Yeah.
so I just think that's
Yeah.
going to be really exciting.
I
But
I
anyways,
was I was thinking this morning, I was like, our whole I post on my stories every once in a while, like me at the gym on the weekends. And I'm like, build your dream life on the weekends. Don't use the weekends to escape your current one. And
yeah,
so I was thinking, I was like, wow, me and Alex are like, we're doing this podcast right now, but then after this, we're gonna take a lunch break and then we're gonna come back working together so we can work on the app and everything. And it's like, even now we're using the weekends to build our dream life. Not that we don't both enjoy the lives that we have now, but it's like our dream life, I think you would agree with this, is to help if we can help as many people as possible, and
yeah,
then like you've always said, lower that barrier to entry. Like
yeah,
our dream life is to help as many people as we possibly can. And it's like
yeah,
we're not quite there yet. And so it's like we have to use the weekends for that extra time to get there. And so, it's like even though I say that, it's like I'm still doing that today, and
yeah,
growing. But then also I think we're good at this of like taking a step back and being like, look where we came from. Like you used to be here a year ago or 2 years ago, and I was here a year or 2 years ago. And it's like where we are now is great. And we need to celebrate that. And that's what some of you're really good about, is celebrating your milestones.
every time,
Just do what?
every time.
Yeah, I
I
love it.
celebrate every single time.
I love it. And so recognizing where we came from and appreciating where we are now, but then also being like, we can do even more with our platforms and with what we're doing. So
Yeah, I think celebrating your wins, both like for you, listener, is really important, both like in business and in fitness and nutrition. Like, I don't care what it is. Maybe it's a new PR on squats, or maybe it's like, it doesn't really matter, but like, treat yourself, you know? Like, if
yeah,
you're not celebrating this, like, and you're not having fun with it, then like, what is all this for? I mean, I know we
yeah,
all have like an outcome goal that we're working toward, but if you're not celebrating like the small wins along the way, yeah, it might make it a little bit harder. And if you are celebrating the small wins, man, it's easier to build momentum and excitement.
yeah, totally. This doesn't really pertain to the podcast, but it goes in line with what you're saying, like celebration the small things. I know when I was first starting out my journey, and I think this tactic can work for different people in different ways. It may not be the best way to do it, but I would always tell myself, if I can be consistent and hit my calories and protein every single day, then on Sundays I would treat myself to Yogurtland. Yogurtland was like my favorite thing. And I would still keep within calories and stuff, but it's one of those things
Yep.
where it's like, if I hit my calories and protein each day, then on Sunday I get this. And so it's like the celebration of consistency for me, because where I'd
Yeah.
struggled for
So
so
important.
long. I mean, yeah, Monday through Friday I was okay, but it was really that Friday, Saturday night. I was like, if I can get through this, I'm going to give myself, a reward. And, I guess we could talk about like, should you reward yourself with food? Should you not?
I
Whatever.
was
And
going
I
to talk
think,
about that. Yeah.
say what?
I was actually going to talk about that. I had that like loaded in the chamber, like ready to like
Well,
segue into that next.
then yeah, I'll finish this and we can segue that and then we'll get to the topic of today. Now we're
Sure.
just going off, but still, I think it depends, but it's just like, and it worked really well for me. I'm a very much reward based person kind of thing. And it was also that thing where it's like, if I didn't hit my calories each day consistently, then it's like I didn't get that treat on Sunday, and I didn't punish myself. I just withdrew that reward, and that reward was so important to me. I looked forward to that Sunday every week, that it kept me consistent, and then it finally it just kept rolling. So Fridays and Saturday nights I stayed consistent, and I got that reward on Sunday. So I'll let you hop into the food thing though.
Yeah, no, I think what you said is really, really fun. And it's like different rewards are going to be different for, rewards are going to be different for everybody. And
Yeah.
if that's you and, a yogurt shop, it's like,
Yogurt shop.
I don't know what it was, but
No, it's
something like
okay.
that.
Yogurtland, but yeah, it's just funny to say that.
Yogurt
He has
land.
wireframes this whole week, so
Yeah, seriously.
yeah.
Bree's been building wireframes for our app, which I just think is like really cool because she has no experience in that, but she's just like dove
I love
headfirst
being
into it.
creative though, so I'm
It's been
really excited for that.
it's been
So
really cool. She's building the layout of the app as we speak, so it's just
yeah,
really cool to see that. But anyways, I think it can be a slippery slope if you're not like very cognizant of your calories, of your the protein, your fiber that you're trying to hit. So just be aware, be a little leery on do your goals and your rewards conflict. And
yeah,
so Eric Trexler put out this great article on goal hierarchy that like I learned so much from, and it was let's say you're trying to lose 10 pounds. Okay, you can't. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Anyway, you can't reward yourself with something that is in direct conflict with your goal. So with you, you were working it into your calories and stuff like that. But like, let's say somebody's like, oh, I was 7 days in a row of
cheat
hitting my
day,
step goal. Now exactly. Yeah. I'm going to have like a
Yeah.
cheat day. Now I'm going to like not track my calories. I'm going to eat a bunch of pizza, Taco Bell, like whatever it is. And those foods are fine if you count them in like you did. But, so some of the rewards that I tell people that like could be a really good idea that kind of support your fitness goals is, okay, this one's not going to support you necessarily, but a towel warmer, they're like 150, 200 bucks. Those things are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
A new pair of workout shoes, new workout clothes, things like that. Maybe a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, like things like that support your fitness goals and kind of like reward yourself for doing a good job.
100%.
I think that's a good idea. But anyways, not to beat that topic to death, we can move into unless you have anything else to talk about.
I think the last point I've just wanted to reiterate is like you said, I still had parameters. It wasn't a free for all cheat day.
Smart.
Like the first thing I would do on Sunday mornings, I would, Yogurtland has all of their calories on their menu. It gives you like the per 3 ounce measurements for all the Yogurtland. And so what I do is, and at yogurt places, they have scales. So I would go and get some yogurt. I'd place it on the scale. It'd be 4 ounces. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do 6. So I would weigh it out and then I get my toppings. And so I still tracked it. But for me, it was really, really nice, I think, also to have something that weekly I could look forward to, versus maybe over the long term. So again, this is something that worked for me, not gonna work for everyone. Again, if you have a really hard time with like that control of just enjoying something in moderation. But yeah, I think there's different ways you can do reward systems for sure.
It's weird to me that I've never heard of Yogurtland. I don't know.
It's like everywhere, at least in Dallas. So, but
maybe it's not like a Michigan thing.
Do you have Sweet Frogs?
I'm not familiar.
Another
with
one too. I don't know. Yogurt.
You guys are gonna have a lot more options than I do.
Yeah, true. Very true.
All right, let's dive in.
Cool. So today's topic is how to maintain results on vacation and why you shouldn't worry about that.
Just like a step-by-step, like here are things that you can do to maintain your results. Like let's say, and when we say results, it's muscle growth, it's fat loss, it's cardiovascular, potentially fitness, it's whatever results you're trying to work for. Here are some steps that you can use in order to make sure that you hit that or maintain those results or keep that forward momentum going while on vacation. But we also want to put this massive asterisk here of like, you're not going to lose results from being on vacation for a week. Like you will not lose anything. You're not going to go up 10 pounds in body fat. The scale might go up a couple pounds, but it's not.
It's not might. It will.
It will.
100% will.
Yeah,
we can guarantee you that every single time.
Actually, not for me.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have food allergies, and so like I don't eat out when I'm traveling. It's very hard for me to get my calories in. Like I just don't trust a lot of menu items, and I'll just, for lack of a better term, just starve myself. I just won't eat. I'll skip meals.
Well, that's better than going to the hospital. So I kind of the trade-off. Yeah, the trade-off makes sense. So yeah, no, I mean, asterisk for anyone, that kind of stuff. Like for example, Sage, like he's, trying to eat over 3,000 calories. And so when you go on vacation, you only have the option to eat 3 meals a day. Like you're not getting those amount of calories in. So yes, there's exceptions to the rule, but for the most part,
for the vast majority of people,
you're going to come back heavier just simply from being out of routine, and your body's going to just retain water. You probably are not pooping on your regular schedule. So you just literally weigh more from poop in your body, basically. So
how many pounds do you think? I just want to like prepare somebody who's about to go on vacation. How many pounds?
With client experience and my own, it really varies across the board. I have some clients who come back 1 pound, 2 pounds. Yep. Myself, however many days out of town I am, I almost come back that many pounds heavier. So for example, we went last year, we went on a trip for Sage's 30th birthday. We were out of town for 12 days. I came back in town 10 pounds heavier. That's
shout out to you. You must have felt like 2 days after coming home, you must have felt like you could fly. Just like from being so much lighter, like
but I basically ended up losing that 10 pounds basically over the course of 10 days, and my body hates going out of town, hates it, knows when I'm doing it. Like I'll be going to the airport, so I have like my normal, not to get too TMI, but I have my normal poop schedule. Oh yeah, I poop at the same time every day.
Yep.
I will pack and wake up that morning to go to the airport, and I will not go to the bathroom. My body knows that it's traveling, and I will not be able to go. I have to take medicine just to go to the bathroom, so I don't get so insanely full and bloated and feel uncomfortable. I just can't pass anything. So for me, it's different. So just
like anxiety or.
I don't know.
You
I've
don't
tried
know?
everything. I've brought my own food on vacation because I'm like, maybe it's a food thing. I've
Sure.
taken probiotics, prebiotics. I've done everything people can recommend.
Yeah.
The only thing that works is just taking medication. So I have to basically, it forces me to go to the bathroom.
I'm gonna ask a really, really dumb question, and I want
Okay.
you to like you can reach through the camera and smack me. How's your fiber intake? Like when
I've
you're on
done the
vacation?
fiber. Fiber. I've
You
done fiber
have?
on vacation. I've tracked my fiber. I've
Yeah.
literally done it all. Yeah. No, that's
Okay.
not a stupid question at all. I have tracked
Yeah.
my fiber.
Well, it's
I've
just
done,
like it's only stupid because like you know this. That's why it's
yeah,
stupid.
sure.
It's like you
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah. No, I've tracked my fiber. I've gone a little bit lower. I've gone recommended. I've gone a little bit higher. Still can't go to the bathroom. And I just got to this
Interesting.
one point where I was on vacation for a wedding. I was in Jamaica and I had gone 4 days without going to the bathroom and I was
Oh,
miserable. I was like,
yeah.
I can't do this. So I went to the gift shop, bought medicine, and I felt so much better. And I was like, it sucks, but this is my solution just every time I go out of town.
Yeah.
So, but it is
I'm
what it
gonna
is. So.
I'm gonna plug one of the most important travel purchases I've ever bought in my entire life. It was
Yeah.
a travel bidet. Now, if you guys are not on the bidet game yet, let me riddle you this. Let me ask you this. Let me pose you this question. If you got shit on your arm, would you just wipe it off with a napkin and be like, "That's good enough"? There's no conceivable way. You would
Or
be
would you
like,
spray it with water?
you'd spray with water. You'd probably get some soap in there, I would think. And I'm not saying bidets have soap. I'm just saying, like, what if we went one step farther? Like,
Yeah.
what if we just took it like to the next level? And so I don't know. Just throwing that out there. We have 2 bidets in
Yeah.
our home right now. I bought a travel bidet from Tushy, and like,
Alex is so on the bidet train that he bought one to travel with because you
yep.
can't be without it.
Well, it's just like a easy. I mean, it's not like it's like a whole
No, I know.
mechanism,
I
but
figured it wasn't hard. But the fact
it's
that
just
you
a it's just
changed
like
your
a
life
it's a
that
water
much.
bottle type thing essentially. You just fill it with water, and it's like
Oh,
then you just
that is
angle it
wild to me.
correctly.
I feel like I'm worried I'm gonna get ruined and I have to buy myself a travel one. I
You
was
will,
just,
a hundred
yeah.
percent, and they're like $30. I mean, it's like
Yeah, it's not like super
it's a
expensive.
low risk. It's a low
Yeah.
risk and the highest reward I can ever explain.
Does it air dry you too? Or is it just spray water and then you're
No, it,
drippy?
it just sprays water and then you're drippy.
Oh. That doesn't sound enjoyable.
You got to give it a shot before you let it
Okay.
off.
Okay.
I'm just surprised you didn't
Anyways,
try it when you were here.
I was nervous. I thought about it. I got nervous. I got nervous.
That's fair.
I didn't want
Okay.
something going wrong in someone else's home. You know what I mean? And then
Oh
like,
yeah, I get that. Yeah. Oh,
so
for
especially when
sure.
you're dealing with like number two stuff, like,
Yeah. Yep. 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 For
not the
sure.
time.
Totally get
So
that. Not the time at
yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I
Let
don't know. Maybe I'll buy one for you for like you or Sage's birthday. I'll
How
just like
about
have one
this? How
shipped
about
to
when
your.
we hit 10,000 plays on the podcast, I buy myself a bidet.
Let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
Please send this to a friend so that we can get Bree to a bidet faster.
I love this. Okay, let's hop into all the
Let's
things we
actually start
have for
talking
me.
about it now.
Yeah, we probably start. Yeah, we're about 23 minutes in this podcast. Probably should talk. Well, I actually don't know because I'll probably trim this down,
It's
but
like
we're
10
we're a
minutes
ways
in.
into this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing we have, or that we have listed here on just like maintaining your results on vacation, is make a plan of what you're going to commit to.
Yep.
And what I mean by this when I say that is, I think a lot of people go on a vacation, they're like, oh, I'm going to live my best life. Like I'm going to work out every morning. I'm going to go for,
I'm
2
gonna wake up early. I'm gonna go
2 mile
for a run.
runs.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
going to go and get a fruit plate and I'm not going to eat, this or that. Like I think you feel your best on vacation. And so you just like make all these overarching goals when like you're really not going to do that stuff. Like,
You're gonna sleep in. You're
yeah,
gonna
you're
have
gonna,
pancakes for breakfast. You're gonna have bacon. You're gonna have like these higher
yeah,
calorie foods. You're not waking up. You're
you're
not. You're
gonna
not. You're not
probably,
going to the gym.
yeah, you're gonna drink alcohol. Now, if you want to have that goal, some of those goals, that's fine, but
Don't guilt yourself.
yeah, and I put in like all caps of what you're going to commit to, what you're
Yeah.
actually going to do. So if you're like, hey, I've never worked out on vacation, I would love to start working on vacation because I would like to keep in that routine. Well, if you're gone for a week, just commit to 2 days where you go and work out, and then you can build from there. I
Agreed.
put
Yes.
an asterisk on here of like stop daydreaming because I think
Yep.
again a lot of people really overarch and think, okay, to maintain my results or maybe not maintain just because I want to live my best, I want to be this. I see these influencers and they're working out and they're doing all these active things on vacation. I want to be that. Just lower the barrier a little bit. Just
Yeah.
start lower and actually be realistic with what you can commit to.
Yeah, and I think like just the degree of like how much work you have to do to stimulate the muscle into growing is actually relatively low as long as the
Yeah.
intensity is high. And so where I'm going with that in tangible terms is do half of your workout. Like instead
Yeah.
of doing the full workout, do half of your workout. Or if you don't have like a structured workout, just do split squats with what are a suitcase. Oh my god, I couldn't think of the word
Yeah.
suitcase. Do
Backpack.
yeah, do it with a backpack, do it with a suitcase, do it with like a jug of milk in your hand. Just do split squats to failure.
Yeah.
Do push-ups to failure. Do
Yeah.
inverted rows to failure. And like you do one set of each of those, you're probably gonna grow significant muscle, and that took you 10 minutes or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't feel like you have to
Exactly.
go the whole thing, like this whole hour-long workout or anything like that. Like, if you really want to work out, just lower the standard for yourself because you're
Yep.
still going to get great results with that.
Yeah. And even if you want to lift weights and you don't have access to anything, like you don't have whatever, you can't use your suitcase, can't use your backpack, whatever it is, just going for a walk is a really great, lower
Agree.
the barrier to entry. If you're like, hey, I really want to start when I'm going on vacation, getting up in the morning and going working out, but I have a hard time getting up. Okay, well then don't go lift weights. Just get up and go for, say you're on a beach vacation, go for a 15-minute walk on the beach every morning. And you're already building that habit where the first thing you do that day is you're active. And then every time you leave or go on vacation, you can implement that habit and build on it more.
I'm just curious as to like how many people, like population of the world, could do 3010 tempo split squats. So like a 3 second lowering or eccentric phase, get to the bottom, explode up. Like, can
Yeah.
you do 20 of those?
Yeah.
Those are hard. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, we can do them with weight. We could add a backpack. We could, but like, you could put some rocks in a backpack if you want.
Oh, there's ways to do it. I mean, I remember
Even body
during
weight stuff is hard.
yeah, I remember during the pandemic when everything shut down, I literally got my backpack and I got
Yep.
cans of soup and I threw
Yep.
that in there. And you may again, if you're in a hotel, you may not have cans of soup, but you got those little waters that you have to pay for.
Mm.
Don't rip off the tag, but throw those in your backpack. Go grab your hair dryer, whatever.
Hold on
Throw
to a
that.
child. Like,
Yeah, throw your child in your backpack and
well.
then just, well, I mean, it could maybe fit. I don't know how small the child is, but like there's ways to get active. But then I also don't want people feeling so there's this fine line when people go that mile and go that extent to getting a backpack, throwing soup cans of like, you don't even really need to do that. You could just enjoy your vacation, not work out at all.
Yeah.
So, but again, if you're just like, hey, I really want to build this habit, we are supportive of that. And we're just saying, hey, just lower the barrier. Don't get so crazy about it. You know, if you can't get access to a gym, just do with what
You're
you
not going
have.
to lose muscle. Like, worst
Yeah.
case scenario, you're not going to lose muscle. There's like this number that's thrown around a lot, and I don't know how accurate it is, but that like 3 weeks of no activity is what it takes to start losing muscle.
Yeah.
And that's
I've
kind
always
of
heard
like this.
4, but I'm sure
Yeah,
it's around that.
it's
Yeah.
exactly. It's going to be dependent on the person, how much muscle they have, what really no activity actually means. Is it bed rest or is it like,
Yeah. Well,
you
and
know,
what your diet consists of. Are you in a
so
deficit?
true.
Is your
So
protein?
true.
Because if you're at maintenance and you're getting a sufficient amount of protein, I bet that pushes higher up to the 4-week mark.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
But if you're in like a very sharp deficit, you're getting no protein, you're drinking a ton of alcohol, getting horrible sleep, like, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's not so good.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I think you made this point a little bit earlier that it takes a lot less work to maintain than it does to
Yes.
build muscle. I think that applies to anything in life, whether you're building a business, you get like you have kids, whatever it is, like the first part of getting into anything, building whatever, that a routine, whatever is harder. And then once you have something built, maintaining it takes a lot less effort. Same with muscle building. Building it takes a lot of effort. But then once you've built it, if you want to maintain, very low barrier to
Very, very
entry. That's not probably the right phrase to use, but just like you
easy
could
to
do one.
maintain. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could do one upper body and one lower body workout per week and
You'll probably
maintain off that with
maintain
good
it. Yeah.
intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely agree. Don't worry about the muscle loss, and you regain it very quickly. So that's
Yeah,
another
that's
thing.
true. If
If
there
if
is any
you do lose
loss.
muscle, you regain it probably 2 times as quick.
Yeah, very true. The next one on here is scope out the hotel or where you're staying. So a big part, I think, of maintaining is just to be prepared what situation you're going into. We just
Yeah.
talked about like, do you need to get cans of soup and throw them in a backpack, or is there a gym available there? Is there going to be a treadmill? There's no treadmill. Scope out, again, if Airbnb, where you're staying or the hotel that you're at, and see what you have access to in general. If you're at an Airbnb, you have probably a kitchen available. You probably can make most of your meals in the kitchen. So
Yep.
just be prepared with what you're going to have control over versus what you're not going to have control over.
some of the things that I look at. So you got to keep in mind, this is from the perspective of somebody who has severe food allergies, and I don't like to eat out much because it just
Yeah,
gives me a
good
lot of
point.
anxiety. Is one, is there a gym nearby? So we always book an Airbnb or a hotel with a kitchen. Again, this
Mhm.
is overkill because it's a very specific circumstance.
Yeah.
And it just helps us still enjoy vacation.
Yeah.
So one, is there a gym nearby? That matters to me because I enjoy going to the gym. It makes me
Yeah.
feel good and I like it.
Yeah.
So it's something that like I look to do on my vacation just once or twice. I'm not going every day, just once or
Yeah.
twice in a
Right.
week long vacation. Two, does it have a kitchen? If so, we're good to book. Three, is there a grocery store nearby? Doesn't have to be walking distance, but like
Relatively
biking
close.
distance would be great. If
Yeah.
we have a bike.
Yeah.
We did that at our last trip in Florida. It was so fun. We were like going to
Yeah.
Publix at like 10 p.m. and just to get like popcorn. It's just like a
I
little
love
bike
it.
ride. It's dark. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. And then yeah, like what are your food situations? So if you're not cooking at home, it's like what restaurants will you go to?
Mhm.
What maybe what menu options, depending on how like micromanagey you want to be about this. I'd say you can come in with a plan, but like if you really want to, enjoy your vacation, try to be a little bit relaxed with it. Give
Yeah.
yourself some freedom. You're not gonna lose results in 1 week.
Yeah. No, exactly. I agree.
And
Um,
actually, sorry, one more thing.
no, go for it.
If you're at a hotel that provides breakfast, maybe just look at like some shots of their breakfast. Try to
Yeah.
prioritize protein at breakfast. Try to
Yep.
prioritize like some fruit, some well, they probably don't have veggies, but like fruits, protein, yogurt, like these kinds of things, almost all of them will have.
Yeah, and things that'll keep you satiated. I think that's a big thing too. It's just
So
like
true,
I think a
so
lot of
true.
people skimp out on breakfast to save calories for. And again, we don't know if you're going to be tracking that per se on this vacation. You may be tracking. You may just be like, hey, how can I maintain without tracking? Either ways. But whether you're tracking or you're not tracking, having something filling for breakfast, I think, is very important
So
because a lot of
important.
people are trying to like save calories. But then when you're saving those calories, you go into a situation more hungry and you tend to overeat.
Yep.
So I'm not saying you have to have this huge, massive breakfast, but like I would grab some fruit. I would have some eggs. I'd probably, grab some pieces of toast and just try to
Yep.
fill yourself up. Um, Maybe not on the more dense calorie things and actually go walk away from breakfast full and satiated and then not feel the need to eat till lunch.
The difference between like a 200 calorie and like 10-gram protein breakfast versus like a 400 but 40-gram, these are
Yeah.
just like made up numbers. These aren't like
Right.
numbers that I need you to stick to.
Yeah.
But just having a slightly bigger breakfast, like in the neighborhood of 400, 500 calories and like 30, 40, 50 grams of protein, oh my God, your day
Yeah.
will be so much better. You won't be like starving. You won't be
Yeah.
dealing with these massive cravings late at night. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
You
always
could,
go for the omelet station is my big
so
one because
good.
I can load up on veggies
Yep.
and then, I
Super high
enjoy omelets
protein.
too. Yeah,
Yep.
super high protein and you can even do egg whites if you wanted to because as long as I can throw some cheese in there, like it's tasty for me. Like so egg whites with
Facts.
cheese and then throw in a bunch of veggies. I honestly probably want the pancakes, but it's the trade-off that I'm weighing. I'm like, you know what? I really want the pancakes and maybe I'll just get one and split it with sage or something like that. But it's like I prioritize hitting my protein and making sure I'm full and satiated and getting those micronutrients in that I'm going to take that trade-off because I'm going to enjoy some other things. Like I'm going to have probably, I know I keep thinking beach vacation when I'm talking about this, but
Me
like
too, actually. Yeah.
I really want to go get a pina colada and I want to go have a daiquiri later. And then at dinner that night, I want to have dessert. It's like, I have plenty other options to like enjoy some really great food or drinks or whatever. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to take the trade off and have something nice and filling and high in protein for breakfast.
Yep, agreed.
So,
For me it's the Chobani like mini yogurts that they have in the fridges there.
yes.
And I'll eat like 5 of those things.
Yeah.
Like I'll empty out the fridge a lot of
Those are
times.
so good.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, those are good. Next part is I mean, we kind of talked about food, but this is a little more in depth. This is I put here, plan out your food, such bring some of your own.
Yep.
So when you talk about planning out food, I think it's kind of like where we talked about like scoping out your hotel, like what's available in the hotel. Do they have a restaurant? Are you an Airbnb? What's around? Like understand what your food situations are and what potentially you'll be. Because I mean, if you booked an Airbnb and you're just next to a KFC and a Starbucks, like those are probably your only options, which that's not a bad thing per se, but
Might be
you know,
tough to maintain results with
it just
just
might be
KFC.
tough not having options of things that are going to be highly satiating and probably, just lower on the calorie spectrum there.
Mhm.
And so I put little things here. It's like, there's different things, grocery delivery, Amazon delivery. You can use your car rental, go get some groceries. I think like you
Yep.
took a bike. So it's like,
Yep.
when I used to travel for my job, the first thing I do when I touched down was always had a rental car. I would just go by the grocery store and buy food.
Agree.
And I would always call the hotel ahead of time saying, hey, will I have a mini fridge? If they're like, yes, I'm like, cool, I can get fridge stuff. And then I always ask for a microwave. That's always, there's
Smart.
no extra cost ever for those two things. And then once I understood what I had access to, I'd go to the grocery store, buy my stuff. If you don't have a rental car, I mean, there's Amazon delivery, there's Walmart delivery, there's what I put on here. I didn't put any other ones. Grubhub, I think, does delivery.
Yep.
If you live in Texas, there's Favor. Like there's so many apps that you can use to just get it delivered straight to you. I even had a client one time, she was going out of town and she went on Amazon and like ordered a bunch of stuff and had it shipped to the hotel.
Smart.
You just have to make sure you put on there, like when you put, where it's being shipped to, put guest and then put your name. So that way they'll hold it for you and you can just have stuff literally delivered to the hotel. So when you arrive and you go to the front desk, you say, have a couple packages for me. So there's a lot of ways that you can plan out your food and then be bringing some of your own stuff too.
So some of my clients bring protein powder, actually.
Yeah.
I've personally never done that because I just buy like protein shakes like wherever I go if I need the extra protein, which a lot of times I do, to be honest. But yeah, I've had clients bring like just baggies of protein powder and then like one or two shakers. I think that's a really smart idea. I mean, you can even just like fill plastic bags of protein and then could look a little suspicious to the TSA, but just maybe explain to them that you're anabolic and you're trying to gain.
Well, at least the powder's typically like brown or like a yellow.
I'm thinking like white vanilla
creatine.
powder. Yeah, creatine.
I refuse to travel with creatine because I know there's gonna be one day where like I explain it's creatine, they're gonna test it, they're not gonna believe me. Like I get
you're
nervous
going to
about
jail.
that.
Immediately to jail.
Yeah, immediately. But so typically what I do is I'll just fill up a baggie, put the scooper in that bag, and then put that inside of a shaker bottle and then twist that up. So that way the bag doesn't get punctured or open. And then just makes it all condensed in one little area. Agreed. And then I'll bring two shakers. So one can be cleaned while I'm using the other one. So
agree. Yeah, smart move.
Definitely. And protein bars. But I think also really convenient is just like you said, just going and buying like the Core Powers or
the Fairlife,
Muscle, whatever it's called and stuff like that.
Yeah, Premier Protein. All those are good.
Yep. So the next point actually I talked about, I put call a hotel to see if you can get a fridge/microwave. This is usually no extra cost. So once again, it kind of comes down to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could just do that. So that's news to me.
That might be, I mean, I think for you specifically, having the kitchen's a lot better, probably an option. But if you ever don't have an option to be at an Airbnb, call and say, hey, will I have, or can I, typically the, handicap or accessibility rooms will have a fridge. And so you could ask to be put in one of those rooms that have a fridge and then say, hey, can you put a microwave in there? And they 99% of the time you can get that situation done. So that's just an option for you if you ever need to in the future.
Good tip for travel.
Yeah. So that just honestly opens the doors of what you can be bringing, because then you can bring freezer foods, because typically a mini fridge has a little freezer section.
Yep.
You can buy freezer foods and then use your microwave to cook them. I mean, it just opens you up to make anything that just doesn't need a stove.
Yeah.
Which I argue you can cook pretty much anything in a microwave. I mean, I've made eggs in the microwave. I've made so many things in the microwave without turning on the stove. So
any of those like Costco meals, pretty much all, not all of them, but like so many of them can be microwaved or just refrigerated.
Yeah, I've also purchased bread and I have butter. And I'm like, damn, I don't have a toaster. So I'll go downstairs to the breakfast room where everyone's getting breakfast. I'll use the toaster and then go back up to my room. So there's just so many ways that you can just use what's available around you in the hotel. So
awesome.
Yeah. Next one we kind of talked about, prioritize protein at each meal. I mean, the biggest one, at least that I would talk about, is it helps to satiate you. And then 2, you're going to hit your protein goal. But I don't know if you have anything else you want to add to that one.
No, I think this is pretty straightforward. And I think a lot of people know this one already. This is like kind of one of those easy tips that's just like, yeah, you know what, every meal, you know, whether you order chicken or steak or fish, it's like if you order a salad, maybe ask if you can get grilled chicken, you know, added to it. But yeah, just adding protein at every meal. I think this is just like outside of even travel. This is just a good tip to live by if you want to live longer and healthier and be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always add this asterisk to clients when we talk about going out of town and they're not going to track. And I say, prioritize protein. if you go to dinner one night and you're like, okay, there's a sea bass option and then there's like a pasta option. You really want that pasta, just go for the pasta.
Yep.
Like, I think there's this time where it's like, yeah, maybe at like lunch, get a burger, and then at breakfast, have an omelet, because you probably enjoy both those things. But if you get to dinner one night and you're like, I know I really should probably get the sea bass because it's going to be more protein, but like, I'm really feeling the pasta, just get the pasta.
Yep.
This is going to kind of us diving into like,
trade-offs and like it's
yeah, it's like,
vacation, dude. It's not like you're living your life like this. This is happening once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year. If like you're
yeah,
really balling, I mean,
it's
I
so
don't know.
crazy. It's so crazy to me how hyper focused people will be on vacation and then not when they're at home. Like, if you put
Yes.
the amount of effort that you put into when you're on vacation, just when you're at home, 51 of the weeks outside of the year, you would, I mean, you would achieve your goals that much quicker, that much more accurately. And so it's like, why do we put so much emphasis on this 1 week? Or, again, if you go if you're in the States, like you usually get, 2 weeks of PTO. Why do we put so much emphasis on these 1 or 2 weeks when like the 50 other weeks are what matter way, way more?
I'm gonna have to talk to my boss about getting me 2 weeks of PTO, because I was unfamiliar with that rule.
What do you mean?
I'm my own boss and I've never taken a day off.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit
It's
different when
different
you're,
when you own your own business. Yeah.
yeah, when you own your own business and doing what we do, where we're helping clients, throughout their days, and we're constantly texting and stuff like that. But, you know, again, even with job, there's a trade-off. You know what I mean? You and me can travel and be anywhere in the world at any time that we want to.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is that we do have to
We're
spend some
always
time
on.
working too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No,
But
I'm
I'm
gonna
saying for
text
the
my
corporate,
clients. I'm gonna text my clients and just be like, "Hey guys, I just got a huge promotion. I actually now have 4 weeks PTO. So
my asshole of a boss is finally giving me PTO time.
yeah,
Yeah.
So what, you won't see me for December. If
Yeah.
any
But
clients are listening to this, this is just a joke. You'll still see me in December.
yes. Yeah. But I think it's also, I mean, do you take off Christmas
No,
or no? I did
no.
that for the first time last year. Is the best thing I could have ever done for myself.
Well, I mentioned that like, hey, I'm gonna, I don't want to, but
Yeah.
I said that I was gonna, and then like I was still getting texts, and so
And then you're
I
like, might as well
responded.
just respond.
Yeah, exactly. And Maddie's birthday's on the 24th, so Christmas
Oh,
Eve. So I
wow.
was like, I was gonna take off
Yeah.
24th, 25th, and just like kind of be around family and stuff like that. And then it was like,
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of texts. Might
Yeah.
as well just get to them,
Well, I remember I took off for the first time in 2 years. I took off in general, period. Just took off days. I had literally worked for 2 years straight, basically. And I was like, you know what? I'm really gonna take off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I told my clients were like, finally,
Yeah,
like,
right.
do it. Like, we're so happy. They were so
They love
supportive.
you. They want to support you.
Yeah,
Like, they care about
exactly. And
you.
and so I made sure I put on like do not disturb. So that way if a client, again, a client can still text me on that day.
Sure.
I knew if I saw it, I'd really want to reply back. So I had to set up that barrier, and it like just changed
Yep.
my life. And I was like,
Yeah.
after 2 years of not having a day off, it was really, really nice. So
I bet.
but okay, next one is stop when you're full. I think the protein one and this one are kind of going on the lines like you're not tracking and you're just trying like, how can I maintain my weight while on vacation? It's just like really being in tune with those satiety signals. I think we get really excited when we're on a vacation. We're like, oh my gosh, a buffet and all I can eat. Make your plate, sit down, eat, be slow about it. The food's
down.
dead already. Like, it's not running off your plates. Like, a little thing ain't running anywhere, okay? So
that was very good.
I always have to remind clients I'm like, it's already dead, whatever you're eating. It's not running anywhere. So just sit there.
I've never heard that. That's so good.
Yeah, just sit there and just eat and enjoy your time, drink some water. It's, and just think about when you're full and know that like this buffet will be here the next day and you could probably get the same thing. Or if you didn't get to the pancake because you're full, okay, cool. Now maybe start a little bit on the pancake tomorrow and then you can move around. I just think because this really more so I think goes to the people who are very, very restrictive.
Restriction. Yep.
When they get on vacation, their first instinct is like, I won't be able to enjoy this for like another 6 months. So I go on vacation again. I have to consume everything as fast as possible because the faster I consume it, the more I can have. But then if you're already not restricting outside of vacation, I think this is a little bit easier thing for you to do.
I agree. Yeah. Just eat slowly. I've had clients that I'll literally have them write down on a sticky note wherever they eat slowly, just as a reminder for them to look down at it.
Yeah.
And I make them screen or like take a picture and send it to me. Like,
I love that.
Show me your sticky note.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like, we do say this a lot about eating slowly, but like there are so many benefits to eating slowly. One, if you chew more, you're probably going to have better
digestion.
Yeah, digestion, but even to a degree, muscle growth. if you can mechanically like break down the
Break down.
proteins better, yeah, you're gonna have better
Yeah.
protein absorption. There was actually a study that was done in elderly people on this by Jorn Tromlin and colleagues. So interesting.
That's cool.
So like for my guys, I just tell them like, if you want gains, if you want muscle growth, you got to slow down your eating. And they're like, okay, let's go. You know, they get really excited about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also just for like satiety signals too. It takes time. Like we can eat a lot of food in 15 minutes and then feel so stuffed like 15 minutes after that. But if we just extend our eating window, we'll feel fuller sooner on less food. So slowing down, I'm going to reiterate this. Everything what Bree said times two, slow down on your eating, not
Well,
just on vacation, but at home too.
If I think about kind of a real life example, that's like, when you watch the hot dog eating contest, like the reason they're able to eat 50 hot dogs in a sitting is because they're eating them so fast. I'm sure at some point they hit a point where they start to feel full and they just keep going. But it takes time for your body to realize and respond, and they can chow down so much more. But then you also, they're really pushing it too. So
Joey Chestnut, who is the current world record
did you look
holder.
that up just now?
No, I know his name, but I wanted to.
Wow, okay.
Joey Chestnut is a household name in this household. I swear to God, every 4th of July, I turn it on and I'm pacing and just like watching him. I'm clapping for him. I'm like screaming, "Let's go, Joey!"
Guy who got mad at the person that came on stage with the stormtrooper mask on? Did you see that one? It was last 4th of July. Someone with a stormtrooper mask jumped on stage and he like pushed him off or something. I don't know if that's the same guy.
Let me look into that while I'm reading. Yes, Joey Chestnut puts protester in chokehold while cruising to his 15th championship. Let's see. That's what I'm saying. Like Joey Chestnut is an American hero. Like he can do it all. He seriously can do it all. I get. My God,
I have a
can you
hard time
imagine
watching it? I
it's
physically, I watch it and I get too full. Yeah.
It's just repulsive. Like they're dunking it in water and it's just like
I know.
bun mess, you know.
They're not
it's
even
just
chewing,
like
they're just swallowing whole.
It's down the gullet. It's like straight up down. He ate on July 4th, 2022, he ate 63 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
What? I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you and I would have trouble getting down like 7
I have trouble getting down
dogs.
Like 10.
Yeah.
I can get 10 down.
You think you could get 10 hot dogs
in 10 minutes? I could, yeah. I think I could devour a whole pizza, and I feel like a pizza would be equivalent to like 10 hot dogs.
In 10 minutes?
Oh, 10 minutes? I don't know. That just sounds exhausting, like chewing. But they don't chew. I forget about that. I can't.
They do chew. They do chew a little bit very quickly.
Yeah.
Like it's not literally like they're just like.
I'm thinking full wise. I think I could probably get down 10 hot dogs. So I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna burst.
I feel like I'd get really sick of the hot dogs around like 7 or 8. Same.
Same. Yeah.
Like I don't like a degree of nausea just from like eating too many hot dogs, like specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next time we're hanging out, we maybe we cook up some hot dogs or like get a pizza and just see like how much we can.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I don't want to get sick.
Yeah, I don't want to get sick either. We'd be like throwing up after. All right. Anyway, next point. Balancing alcohol.
Yeah, and I put balance in quotations. It's like balance alcohol. Where's the balance of it? But it's just like, if you're going to be getting slosh face every single day, like, that's a lot of alcohol carries a lot of calories. And when we think about when you're going on these like beach vacations, like when you're getting pina coladas and strawberry daiquiris, like those things rack up to 500-700 calories per drink. Yeah. And so if you're getting sloshed off pina coladas, you're easily racking up 4,000 calories right there after you have, like 5. That's probably not correct math, but you know what I mean? So it's just like, when it comes to balancing alcohol, it's like one, like if you, there's so many ways I could pivot into this. It's like, if you're drinking alcohol, you're going to feel like terrible when you wake up the next morning.
Sleep is going to be disrupted. Muscle protein synthesis is going to be disrupted. Like you're going to be, lower energy the next day. Yeah, it's not just the calories.
Very true. Yeah. So if you have all these goals to like get up and go for a 15-minute walk and work out twice, like it's going to be pretty hard to follow through those things. When I say balance, like I don't know if you maybe have insight. I don't really know like where I find the balance in that. I think everyone's tolerance and where they enjoy that's a little bit different. Maybe you day drink so that way you sober up by the time you go to dinner, then you have a good dinner and then you go to sleep. Or maybe it's like you only have 2 glasses of wine at dinner, you get a little buzz, but that's about it. Like, I don't know where I'd draw the line at balancing it, but it's probably where it's not going to affect you. It's going to affect you negatively, period. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm a big, I think everybody knows that like, I'm not anti-alcohol necessarily, but I am one of the people that like definitely reinforces like alcohol is poison. There is no healthy dose for you. There's no safe dose for you. That said, it's not like I don't drink. Rarely. I'll say this rarely, like
For
once
the
a
first time in
year.
a year, right? You just drank.
Yeah, just recently at my friend's David and Marina's wedding. I don't know how many drinks I had. It was a lot, you know.
Oh,
It was a lot. I don't know, but
yeah.
like I don't know. Like I do it once a year, and I'm not saying like you have to do it once a year, or like oh you should drink a lot or you
Yeah.
shouldn't drink a lot. Like everybody's gonna have their own degrees of balance. I do just want to reinforce that like yeah, it's not healthy,
Yeah.
and like clear vodka still has calories. I think that's actually a misconception that I found out people have is like clear vodka still has the same calories as like rum
I've
or
seen people even say like the more clear the alcohol, the better it is for your like the health. I don't know if they use healthy or
yeah.
whatever. I'm just like,
No,
it's
it's not.
alcohol.
Yeah, it's not. It's poison. You're
Period.
drinking poison. Like let's make
Yeah.
that very clear.
And
Yeah.
maybe what they're referring to is like there's less sugars in it or something because I don't know where people get that from, but it's like it's okay. I don't know if like this is I don't know if I want to say it, but it's just
Nah, go
how
for it.
like
Just say
I was
it.
gonna do like cigarettes. It's like if you smoke
Yeah.
like natural like there's what's the brand that has like Native American stuff on it? I think they're called natives or something. I
I don't
don't
know.
smoke. I never have. I just know that because I had friends who smoked and they'd be like, oh yeah, I smoke the natural stuff. And I'm just like, it's still a cigarette, you know?
Yeah.
Like whether you're smoking Marlboro or whatever it's called, or
Marlboro.
Marlboro, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
the Camel one, or the one that's in the blue box that's like quote unquote natural, you're still smoking a cigarette. And the same thing with alcohol. Like it's still not good for you.
You're up
But
for that one sometime.
what yeah, but like you said, I mean, there's no good dosage to it. There's no amount of alcohol that's healthy for you. So
So like balancing alcohol, I mean, just use your best judgment on this.
yeah,
Like enjoy your vacation, do your thing. Like you only live once and
yeah,
you know, it's not like in order to be healthy, you don't have to do every single thing perfectly or else like your body's just going to shut down and you're going to die. Like that's not how it works. It's just
yeah,
understand what your safe tolerances are, what risk, you know, kind of you are comfortable with and make
yeah,
decisions accordingly.
yeah, 100%. And the last one we have here is stay active. So the more active you can be, I mean, the easier you're going to be able to maintain
Yes.
your weight. If you're, going on a, backpacking trip through Europe, you're probably going to maintain your weight a lot easier than if you're sitting on a beach every single day for a week.
Yeah.
So the more active you can be, the more likely you are to maintain your weight. So
Yeah, I think it's really fun just to like wake up and you know, this is me personally. I like going for bike rides when I'm on vacation, just like kind of seeing the town.
yeah,
Walking is fine too, but I just feel like a lot of times I can cover way more ground on a bike and just kind of see
yeah,
the stuff. And if there's like a cool area, I just park my bike somewhere. The last Airbnb rental we had, they provided bikes and like locks for
so
us, so that
nice.
was it was so fun, you know, because we can like bike over to the beach, which would have been a 20-minute walk. It was like a
Yeah,
5-minute bike ride, you know.
yeah,
So, you know, whether it's walking, just waking up, you know, we were able to go see the sunrise and just walk along the beach and
yeah.
yeah, staying active and just like creative ways like that. I think for the people who go to Disney, you're going to be racking up like 20, 30,000 steps.
Yeah.
So that's a great place to go if you want to stay active. But yeah,
Europe. That's a great place to
Europe,
go.
yeah, you're walking everywhere. Very
Yeah.
high walkable cities,
Yeah, that's the
walkability.
biggest thing I'm jealous of people in Europe or just anywhere
Agreed.
that's set up. This, I mean, older countries in general are set up that way. It's just the
Sure.
walkability of it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I would like I don't have a choice. Like, there's no if I mean,
There's no
sure,
way. Yeah.
I could potentially, I guess, walk to our Target that's close by, but it's just like it's not. It's honestly more unsafe because of how busy
Mm.
the streets are and how massive our streets are.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's just not realistic at all. And I wish it
Yeah.
was set up that way. So, but
One
I
of my
think one thing I like that you said is every way that you mentioned about staying active had some other goal to it.
like
Like I
some
love
other
you said,
piece.
yeah, you're like, I went biking to explore the
Yeah.
town. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, that's so much fun to I love doing that stuff. I love when I get somewhere, waking up earlier than everyone else, walking to the closest coffee shop, the mom and pop place, grabbing a coffee, then walking around and seeing what's going on. It's like
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was using that as a way to explore the town, but it's like any way you can be active, use it as what's the overarching goal? Like, are you looking for a dinner spot, exploring the town? You had mentioned something else that you did too, I think. But I think just
Uh,
like biking to the grocery store,
yeah.
like,
Sunrise stuff
oh
like
yeah,
yeah.
sunrise, whatever activity you're doing, see if there's any way that you can go there without having to use a car. And
Yep.
again, it's gonna change based off where you're going. So,
All right, Noel, you want to wrap it
but
up
yeah.
there?
Well, I think we should now go into the part of why
Mm.
you shouldn't worry about this. Like
Yeah.
we've said all of these things,
Yeah.
and you
I think
know,
my blanket statement, and I don't know how like in depth you want to get on this, but like my blanket statement is like you're not going to get in shape from eating one salad. You're not going to
Yeah.
get in shape from one workout. You're not going to get out of shape from missing out on one salad, one protein feeding. You're not going to get out of shape from missing one workout. Like, it takes so much to get into your dream body, your dream lifestyle, your dream fitness level. It'll take years,
Yeah.
not weeks, not a day, not months. And like, all these days, these weeks, these months, they matter, but it's in the grand scheme of how consistent you can be. 1 week will never change your trajectory unless you let it.
Well, and if we're being really honest, like in 1 week, you're not going to maintain really either. Like the maintaining actually is done outside of the vacation, like being
Yeah.
able to live your normal life and being routine and learning how to manage your normal life and maintaining your weight. That's really where the real maintaining is, you know? And
Yeah.
I get like, okay, could you maybe gain half a pound of body? It also would depend how long you're gone on this vacation, but could you maybe gain a quarter pound or half a pound of body fat? Sure, maybe, but like, you know how to be in a deficit. You
Yeah.
also, if it really mattered that much to you, you could go in a deficit for a couple 3 days and lose that
Seriously.
quarter pound of body fat.
Yeah. If it
You know?
really, really matters, you have the tools to do this. We
Yeah.
can change our body. And I'm going to say, like, easily. It's harder for some people, it's easier for other people,
Right.
but like, we have the tools to change our body. So it's not like you're doing irreparable damage from
Right.
going on vacation. Like, you
Right.
can just get into a deficit. You can get into a bulk if you're trying to gain weight and then you lose weight on
Yeah.
vacation. Like, it's
Yeah.
not the end of the world. Just, yeah, definitely understand that, like, your weight's going to go up like literally 3 to 10, like 1, 2, 3, maybe up to 10 pounds from a vacation, but it'll drop within the same time frame. 3 to 7 days later,
Exactly.
you're going to be back to like what your baseline is, plus minus two
Yeah.
pounds.
The next time you go on vacation, weigh right when you get back. Don't freak out about it. Go right back into routine. Try not to have an emotional reaction about
Yeah,
it. Go
try
right
really
back into
hard.
routine. And then I want you to watch how quickly your weight drops back,
Yep.
probably to the number that it was, honestly, the average that it was before you left.
I
It
100%
happens
agree.
every time with like 99.99999% of my clients. The second they come back, it takes a week for them to drop back down, but then they're
Same.
the same weight that they were before they even left.
Yeah.
And it's just from implementing the habits of, walk when you can, focus on protein,
Prioritize protein. Yep.
stop when you're full,
Yep.
drink some water, balance your alcohol, don't go too crazy. But if you want to get crazy, that's also your right to do as well. And they are successful with that every single time.
Yep. 100%
So
agree.
yeah, and I always try to remind people too. I always say this to clients, it's like, okay, let's play devil's advocate in this. Okay, so you gained a pound of fat and you're so upset about it. God comes down from the heaven and goes, "Hey, Alex, I heard you're really upset about this pound of fat, so I'll make you a deal. I will take that pound of fat from you, but you have to give me all your best memories from your trip. Would you make that trade off?" What? Why are you laughing?
This is just like such a good example. Like, I'm loving this right now.
Thank you. And it's just like, no, you wouldn't trade that at all. It's like all that pound, again, if it was a pound of fat, it's probably a
Sure.
quarter of a pound.
Yeah.
Let's just say for easy numbers, it's a pound of fat. All that pound of fat resembles is that you over enjoyed food and these wonderful and great memories that you made. And I wouldn't give up that single pound for the world of it, because I know I could drop that pound in a week because I know how to go into a deficit if it
Yeah.
really bothered me that much.
Right.
But then you also can argue too, I'm sure if you came home and you put on a pair of jeans, they probably fit the exact same being a pound heavier.
Yeah.
So you just really need to like take a step back. And I mean, this is just how it comes to my brain. Like, stop being so dramatic about it. Like, you're going to be okay, you know?
Yeah. And if you feel like you're reactionary to scale jumps, I don't know. I'm going to be a little bit of a hard ass on this and just say, like, get over it. Like, I know
Yeah.
that's so mean. I know, like, I'm not being very empathetic on this, but like, you need to understand that your body is going to fluctuate in weight. And like, especially when you come back from vacation. And my personal preference on this is exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Get very comfortable with these fluctuations and understand that your
Yeah.
body's going to go up and down in weight. You're going to hold on to more stomach content. You might hold on to more water. You might literally just be full of shit. Like,
Yeah.
like just be comfortable with that and understand this is a normal part of the process, and your life's not over. It goes
Yeah.
on. You're still very much in control of the processes that you make every single day.
Well, and just like Alex said, he's like, in a way, like, get over it. It's like, okay, if we look at the other spectrum of what you're doing, every single time you get on the scale, you get super emotional about it. How has that served you? It hasn't. If
Right.
anything, it's never served you. So Alex's advice of choosing now to get over it, you should try that, because you freaking out about it has never helped you. So now let's try to just be like, okay, it just is what it is. And let's not have, and it's okay to have an emotional reaction. You're human.
Sure.
I'm not saying like tomorrow you need to stop having emotional reactions, but
just don't act upon it. Don't act upon it.
Don't act upon it. Have the emotional reaction. Maybe even journal about, I weighed this amount today and I felt super sad about it. And then you'll weigh the next thing, you'll write about it, and you'll notice a pattern of every time the scale goes up, you get sad, and every time it goes down, you get happy. And it's like, okay, well now why are we putting our worth in the scale going down as us being happier?
Yeah.
Like
that means 50% of your days, you're probably going to be sad.
Yeah.
Because your weight is going to go like this. Whether you're in a deficit, whether you're in a bulk, like it's going to go up and down. That's just the reality of things.
Yeah. And something I always do before I ever step on the scale when I'm in that phase of like fat loss and stuff like that is I look at myself in the mirror. I go, how do I feel right now? Do I feel great? Do I feel amazing? Because whatever happens on the scale, I'm not going to let it change how I'm actually feeling in this moment. Because there could be times where I'm feeling terrible. My sleep is terrible. I'm starving. I'm at the end of my deficit. I feel terrible. And then I get on the scale and it goes down. I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of happy now. No. Just a second ago, you're feeling really terrible. And now it's not, it's okay that you can feel happy because you're getting closer to your goals. That's fine. Sure. But just recognize before you stepped on the scale, you felt terrible. And had the scale gone up, you probably would have still felt terrible. You're letting this number tell you that it's okay for you to feel happy despite having terrible sleep, being starving, or whatever the negative effects I'm feeling of the deficit.
Yeah.
So just be careful with that stuff.
I think my last note on like all fitness, all nutrition, and we could honestly just like summarize fitness and nutrition with this: zoom out.
Yeah.
Just zoom out. Like you can't be worried about the day to day. Oh, you didn't hit a PR today. Oh, you didn't hit your protein or your fiber goal. Your weight was up a pound or 2 pounds or even 10 pounds. Like zoom out and let's see what the big picture looks like. What are you doing on a monthly or annual basis? Like that matters. The day-to-day processes obviously matter a whole lot, but like you're not going to get the results that you're looking for in one day, and you're not going to lose the results you're looking for in one day either.
Yeah. If you zoom down and looked like 6 months of you being in a deficit, you say, so beep, where you went on vacation, but then again, zoomed out, it's still downtrending.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah.
I think the last thing I want to say to wrapping this up is, and this is something I think Jordan Lips has always said, and I took from him, is, what would 90-year-old you be proud of?
I was actually, that was in my brain earlier.
Yeah.
Like specifically
that's
from
always
Jordan
what I come
Lips.
back to. And I do think there's maybe part of 90-year-old you that would be really happy if you did go work out twice on your week vacation, because it shows that you're prioritizing an active lifestyle, that you went for walks. But you also don't want 90-year-old you to look back and be like, wow, all I remember about that vacation was how terrified I was to eat, how I try to work out every single day and I kept sleeping past my alarm, how terrible I felt becoming the alcohol. Like there's a
balance
to it. There's a whole spectrum of that. So it's just like, look back, and would 90-year-old you be proud of you that you went and enjoyed your time and didn't worry about food? Or 90-year-old you be proud of that you went and you tried to stop when you were full, you prioritize protein? Like, where does that line? So just, that's also something to think about. And it depends for me. There are sometimes where I go on a vacation, I'm like, 90-year-old me would be really proud if I kept in routine. And the 90-year-old me be really proud if I could just disconnect right now.
Lifting Lindsay said something really cool that I've never thought about before. She said like she always wants to be the mom that's in the pool playing with her kids. And I just thought that was like, I think a lot of people can be self-conscious about getting in a bathing suit, getting in the pool, playing with their kids, kind of looking like a fool almost, like to a degree, but it's just like, make the memories, don't worry about the other shit. Vacation is the time to make memories. Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I think there's definitely a lot of, I don't know, people who are listening to this podcast right now can remember that their mom either made comments about themselves in the bathing suit, never got in the pool or whatever because of how they looked and felt. And that's what your kids remember about vacation with you, is that you never got in the pool with them.
Yeah.
Not mom, didn't care and she was always playing with us. We had a great time. Like that's what they took out of that. So just be careful of that if you have kids.
Yeah. All right. You want to wrap it up there?
Yep. Let's just wrap it up there. Any last words?
No, I feel like we killed this one.
Okay. Well, if y'all enjoyed this, have anything else to add, please shoot us a message or a DM on Instagram. Please make sure to rate us on Apple, Spotify, wherever.
Unless it's if it's a 5-star, definitely review it. If it's a 4-star, don't sweat it.
You said that last.
I'm going to say that every time. I'm going to say it every single time. Don't sweat it if it's 4-star or below.
Like I said, also last podcast, if you are giving us a 4-star, please tell us.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please tell us why. Like if there's something off about it, we would love to always improve. So, but again, we are always available on our DMs. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us and we'll catch you guys on the next podcast.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Damn Strong Podcast. Show me some love by leaving a review and sharing a screenshot of this episode on your Instagram stories. Until next time, stay strong.